Hello YouTube! Today in the Naughty Librarian, I'm going over all of the books I have pre-ordered for 2022. So I don't know about everyone else, but I love pre-ordering books. If I know a book is coming out from an author that I like or a next part of a series, I pre-ordered it pretty much like as soon as I can. It's just a thing I do. I like it. It makes me excited because I know I'm going to get it right away, especially with things in the publishing industry lately, because I know a lot of first runs of books get a print, but as soon as they sell out, they're having a hard time getting a second run. So pre-ordering might be the way to go if you want to get the book without a long wait. But anyway, these are all books. I guess you could say these are anticipated reads for the year. These are at least the ones I have pre-ordered. First things first, I'm going to start with a few arcs that I already have that are releasing in 2022 because I am excited about them. First things first, I have Goliath by Tochi Anabuchi, and this comes out in January, so very shortly, and I am so excited for this one. It's kind of, it's like a reimagining a bit, or inspired by, you know, the David and Goliath story, except this one is playing more so with sci-fi tropes and space travel, and also, you know, gentrification, all of that kind of stuff. So essentially, in this world, right, it's a little bit in the future, and Earth is kind of emptying out because anyone with the means to do so is moving to these space stations. And then all the people who don't have the means to do that are left kind of on the ground, trying to eke out an existence in these crumbling cities that are literally just being cannibalized by all the people who live in the space stations. The metaphor is quite apparent at this point, I like to think, but Tochi Anabuchi does that really well. They have this ability to like move a metaphor through our own social lens, so it makes a lot of sense, and it's really interesting how they get to these points. And also, you know, there's sci-fi elements involved, there's fantasy elements involved, so it's got a lot of cool stuff going on here, and it's super anticipated. Thank you, Tor Books, for sending me a copy. I can't wait to read it. Also, I really want to read Redwood and Wildfire by Andrea Hairston. This comes out in February, and oh boy, this one is so like kind of a juicy setting for it. So it's like turn of the 20th century, and we're following these kind of like traveling circus performers. One of them is a hoodoo practitioner, one of them's a blues musician, and they're kind of struggling in this world trying to survive and get along and find a way to make a life. Also, there's hoodoo, there's the blues, like it's got like so many vibes I am into right now. So again, this comes out in February, can't wait to read it. I'm also super excited for The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller, and this one comes out in March, and it is like completely crazy fantasy. It has very, you know, an unlikely heroine and like necromancy and like crazy powers, and it's just really cool kind of world. We're following Charm. She is kind of a madam of a brothel, and in order to get her freedom, the emperor gives her a task, is that she has to solve a murder. The twist here is that she has to solve the emperor's murder. He's like, listen, I'm on my deathbed, one of my asshole sons did this, figure out which one it was, and you get your freedom. And, you know, I think they're kind of being in like the seedy underbelly of this like fantasy world. And also we're following Charm, who's an unlikely heroine. I'm sure this is going to have a definite feminist perspective going on here. And also the cover, gorgeous. I love it. I am so excited for this one. Again, it comes out in March. Okay, so those are the ones I have physical copies of at the moment. Let's get into all of the ones I just have pre-ordered right now. I believe by the time this video comes out, this book will have just been released, and that is Electric Idol by Katie Robert. And whew, okay, I will admit that I am mainly pre-ordering this for smut. However, there is a story here as well that I also enjoy. This is like a modern Greek classics retelling of Eros and Psyche. And in this world, like, Eros has been like kind of trained as Aphrodite's like, you know, hired thug essentially, and like a hitman. He gets sent to kill Psyche. He meets her, he can't kill her. He's like, oh, I got a better idea. Let's get married. So they kind of like bind it to each other. And from there, you know, drama, romance, all of the smut you can think of. He's literally a love god, like, obviously. So it's just gonna be a smutty delight, you know? And like, I'm fine with that. Sometimes you just want to read just for smut, and that's okay. This one has also recently come out, and that is Real Easy by Marie Rukowski. And I just love Marie Rukowski. Like, I will read anything this author puts out. And I think this is the author's first foray into adult. And this one is kind of like a murder mystery. It's gonna be gritty and interesting. It's gonna have a feminist twist, and I'm like into that. So we're following Georgia and Holly mainly. So Georgia, she is an exotic dancer, and Holly's a detective, and they're trying to figure out who killed this other dancer at the club, and there's also a missing person involved as well. So one of the dancers is missing, one of them is murdered. And so they're trying to solve the case, and it kind of puts them in the crosshairs of the killer, and it's going to be kind of gritty and a murder mystery definitely, and it's also just about, you know, how women get by in a world where they know men can hurt them. So that's kind of like the overall theme here. And something I didn't know about the author was that she used to be a dancer herself. So she actually kind of understands the world that she's writing about intimately. So I think that's also going to add like a level of realism to the story, so I am excited about that one. And again, I just really love Marie Rakowski as an author. I think she's great, and this is her first adult novel, and it's a murder mystery. Yes, murder time. Another super recent release is Highland Wolf by Lindsay Sands. I have loved this series so much. It is it's like a big family of Scottish dudes at the McGregors, and they all have like love interests, and it's a big Scottish Highlander romance series, and they're all kind of the same plot. Like someone is trying to kill someone and they have to figure out who it is, and then like, you know, love saves the day. And I don't care they're all the same plot. I like them. We're following Lady Claret, and she is basically being forced into marriage by this like evil uncle, and except she doesn't actually get to have to be married off to this gross dude, because she gets kidnapped on her wedding day by this guy who's very, you know, dark and mysterious. He's long dark hair, and he's just like on a horse, and he's a warrior. Now, I'm not 100% sure who this McGregor brother is. Like, I have an idea, but I don't want to say which brother it is just in case I'm wrong. But anyway, he shows up, and it turns out, oh, this guy, they thought he was dead, like for a long time. He's been hiding out all these years. So he's coming on back, and he's like, oh yeah, you're like, we were supposed to get married, and now like I have kind of like kidnapped you, but like in a good way. And so, you know, love. And they have to like probably defeat the evil uncle and the creepy guy he was trying to marry her off to, and all that jazz. So I don't remember exactly which brother this is, but I have a feeling it is that missing brother from the series. So in the series, there is one brother that went off to war and never came back, and I'm thinking it's that brother. I forget the name of the brother because it's been a bit, but anyway, I'm really excited. I love it. I'm so excited. Also, super highly anticipated for years now is Monroe by Kresley Cole. Now, all you paranormal romance lovers out there know Kresley Cole is the shit, and she has been hinting at this book coming out for years. It's finally coming out for real, and I'm obsessed with it. This is part of the Immortals After Dark series. Obviously, we're following Monroe. He's a Scottish werewolf kind of guy, and it also has like a little bit of time travel, which I'm like about because I don't really like time travel in general. But the thing with Monroe is that he had a mate, and then the mate like died, and he's like, I'm sad. And then like he kind of is gonna steal the mate out of the past before that she died. So like he's like, oh, I'm fixing my problems, and then, you know, it's gonna be more difficult than just doing that. So I am so excited that it's actually real. It's happening. This is a real thing now, and I'm gonna get the book. Like, it's been years. Coming out in February, I have The Good Girl's Guide to Rakes by Eva Lee. I just pre-ordered this one because I like Eva Lee in general. This is the start of a new series. And it's those like wonderful tropes I like, where it's just like, oh no, these kisses are supposed to be instructional. We have Kieran, right? And he's kind of a rake, and his dad's like, you have caused the last scandal. I'm not fucking with this no more. Go find a wife who's respectable or you get no money. So he's like, oh shit. So he comes up to Celeste, who is his best friend's sister, and he's like, listen, like, I got a problem. Introduce me to nice ladies. And she's like, okay, but in return, I want to go on adventures. I want to see all the crazy shit you do because I want to be out in the world and have fun. And he's like, okay. So they do all this crazy stuff together, you know, and of course they grow closer to each other. And I love those tropes, and I love Eva Lee, and I think it's going to be super sex positive. It's going to be just a great fun romp of a book. So super excited for it. Also, I am so pumped for Ecstasia by Claire Legrand. And oh my gosh, okay, when Claire Legrand writes horror, it is gorgeous. I am like anticipating this to be a favorite book of the year. I know, I am overhyping it. I know, but like I'm obsessed because like Claire Legrand and horror is like a great combination because she writes things that are really artsy and like lyrical, but also terrifying, and like I love it. So we're following this girl and she is being committed as a saint. So basically she's like a warrior nun kind of thing, having to protect the world from like these evils. And it's all very, you know, ritualistic and fighting bad guys. It is going to be really artsy fartsy and like lyrical writing and stuff, but it's going to be creepy. It's going to have demons. It's going to have crazy nuns. And I'm like so into it. So yeah, I love it. As soon as I saw Claire Legrand was putting out literally anything, I pre-ordered it, and then I heard it was horror and I was like, yes. So it's just like even better. Also pre-ordered, I have House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. And you know what? I don't care that they're super long and they're overwritten and what have you. I just like them, okay? This is the next book in the Crescent City series, and you know, we're just kind of following on some more with Bryce and Hunt. And you know, they kind of saved the world in the last book, and I think they're just trying to relax a bit, but of course they get pulled back into some drama. There's like rebels fighting against, you know, the Asteri, which is like this, whatever. I'm not gonna get into the whole mythology of this series right now. But yeah, you know, they either have to stay silent and like step out of things, or they have to, you know, fight for what's right. So they're, of course, they're gonna get pulled back into things. But I love it. It's a really great like urban fantasy series, so I like it. I'm excited for it. Coming out in March, I have Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is a standalone, but it is related to It Happened One Summer, so it's kind of a sequel. And we're following Fox and Hannah. Now, we were introduced to both these characters already. And Fox, he's kind of the ladies' man, you know, the town Casanova. And then you have Hannah, who is kind of nice, but she likes Fox as a human. She's like, hey, let's be friends. And he's like, I don't understand what friends are. But he likes her as a human too, so they're like, they end up being really good friends. And she also has a crush on one of her co-workers, and she's like, I got it. Hey, Fox, teach me how to flirt. You're good at this. And he's like, okay. And then, of course, you know, these kisses are only supposed to be instructional. It's one of those, like, oh, I'll help you get with this other person, but secretly I want you. And then they fall in love for real. And it's going to be like a friends to lovers situation. I love those. Mainly, it's going to be really smutty. And like, that is okay as a selling factor. Obsessed. Another book I immediately pre-ordered without even like looking up what it's about is The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. This is an auto by author for me, so I don't care. Whenever I see a new book's coming out, I pre-order it. And already loving it. It's like her signature style, essentially. So you have this one story going on in 1977 in Oregon, and there was the lady killer murders, where basically these two dudes get killed with the same gun, odd notes get left behind, and there's this woman, Beth, who was seen fleeing the crime scene of one of these murders. Eventually she's acquitted though, and she's just like, you know what, I'm rich and I'm eccentric, I'm just gonna go live in my mansion, blah 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 blah. Now here we are 40 years later or so, and we're following Shay. You know, she's a receptionist by day, but by night she runs like a true crime blog website thing. And she just kind of happens to meet Beth, and she's like, can I interview you? And Beth's like, okay. So things get weird from there. So she starts talking to Beth, and there's like weird happenings at the house, and Simone St. James is known for ghosts in her story. So I'm like, is there a ghost? Is there a ghost? What's the good, what ghosty stuff is gonna happen? And also Beth is like kind of shady. Like, is this like a really manipulative murderer or just like an eccentric lady? Is there a ghost in play? Like, what's going on here? It's a big mystery, and I love that. So yes, auto by author, there's gonna be ghosts and murder mysteries, dual time periods. Love her stuff. Coming out in April, I have The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. Oh my goodness. This is kind of, it's not like necessarily a sequel, it's like an episodic kind of series, but it's related to The Worst Best Man, which came out a couple years ago. I was obsessed with it. So yes, as soon as I could pre-order this, I pre-ordered the shit out of it. So this one is Dean and Solange. Once upon a time, Solange gets roped into helping her wedding planner cousin with this wedding. She happens to see something she shouldn't have seen, and she's like, oh no, I gotta tell the groom he can't marry this lady. I'm assuming, you know, she is cheating, and she witnessed it, so she crashes the wedding and like breaks it up, you know, whole drama thing. Then later on, Dean, he was the groom at this wedding that Solange crashed. He's trying to like get his life together, and he has to do all these other things, like he's trying to get this promotion at work and make partner and like blah 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 blah. And he finds out in order to get this promotion at work he has to have a romantic partner, which by the way, it's complete bullshit. That's completely illegal. I don't care, it makes no sense. There you go. But anyway, he needs a romantic partner to get this promotion. So he's like, Solange is my girlfriend. You know that lady who crashed my wedding and broke it up? Yeah, we're dating now. She's my girlfriend. She ends up agreeing to this fake dating situation because, you know, she feels bad about like crashing his wedding. So, and then they have to fake date their way out of some sticky situations. And I love fake dating stories, so I'm excited. I'm so excited for Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Oh my goodness. Anything by V.E. Schwab. Again, auto by author. Had to get this. This one is kind of being described as like The Secret Garden meets Crimson Peak. Already super into that vibe. So you have Olivia, right? She grew up in like this orphanage kind of school for girls type of thing, and then she gets this letter inviting her back to Gallant, which is like her family home. So she gets there and everyone's like, who the hell are you? Like, no one invited you. And she's like, well, I got this letter. And they're like, okay, I guess you could stay. And like her cousin Matthew's there and he's all hostile. So she's like, like whatever, I got nowhere else to go. So she stays. And there's like creepy shit going on at this mansion. There's like ghouls and stuff and like secret like passages to other dimensions. So it has like a vibe of like Darker Shade of Magic as well. And, you know, this girl Olivia kind of has to figure out what she's gonna do. Like, is she going to, which dimension is she gonna like make her home in? So love it. Obsessed. Like anything by V.E. Schwab, I'm gonna order, I'm gonna read, I'm probably gonna like. So I'm excited. Oh my gosh, the big finale to the Chorus of Dragons series is The Discord of Gods by Jen Lyons, and oh my word, like I need it. Ugh, like I've read the whole series in 2021 and this is the big finale. I need it like now. So much has gone on in the series. The basic idea here is that like a plucky group of heroes needs to save the world from a demon horde. And essentially there's like an evil wizard and then like a demon lord, and they're kind of like facing off against each other about like who's gonna enslave the universe the best, you know? And then you have like the wild card Kieran, and he's our plucky hero. And he has to kind of be the wild card here, trying to, you know, not enslave the universe, but like he has to play a certain part here, which is evil. And also, you know, he's kind of running out of time in general. This series is so complex, and I'm sorry if this doesn't make any sense, but basically reincarnation's a big thing in here, and now he's like in this body that's like the avatar of a star, and like some stars explode, so like he has to get this like body he's in to like work correctly. So, you know, he has problems, and he also has his plucky group of friends. There's a throuple in this series as well. I'm obsessed. And it's the big finale, and it's gonna be like a really, really long book, and I don't care. I'm so excited. There's like gods and goddesses, there's dragons, there's evil wizards, there's demons, there's reincarnation, there's plucky heroes, and like a throuple. There's a lot going on, and I just need to know how it ends. Holly Black is moving into adult fantasy finally, and her first book in this foray is Book of Night. And I pre-ordered this the second I heard it was coming out. So we're following Charlie. She is a bit of like a con woman. She's made some past mistakes. She's a thief. She can pick locks, and she hangs out with like, you know, unscrupulous magicians and like magic users, etc. And she's trying to go straight. She's working at this dive bar, which, you know, is kind of like shady past adjacent, so it's probably not the best place to try to go straight. But, you know, her past comes a knocking again, and she gets like pulled back into this seedy underbelly of the world and like trying to, you know, save the world, I think, from people trying to control it. I'm not sure. That's usually how things go in these situations. But it's Holly Black, and it's adult fantasy. Hot damn, I am so excited. Another author finally moving into adult fantasy, I have Hide by Kirsten White. This one is more of kind of like a paranormal murder mystery type of story. Honestly, it kind of gives me like paranormal Squid Game vibes a little bit. So basically there's this challenge, right? You have to stay in this abandoned amusement park for 2 weeks and the last person there wins like an ass ton of money. Following Mac in particular, and she's like, I got this. I am an excellent person who hides. Like, I hide like a champion. That's the reason I'm still alive and my whole family's dead. So like, I've got some shit to work out personally, but I'm gonna win the money. And then, you know, people start going missing in this amusement park in like a bad way. I'm assuming people are getting murdered. There's like a paranormal entity about. And she's like, oh shit, like maybe I should team up with some people because like this is bad. And they have to like survive these 2 weeks in an amusement park that's trying to kill them. So it's a creepy setting. It's got like paranormal vibes. It's got murder mysteries. I'm into it. I think it's gonna be really cool. Another book I'm super excited for is Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. And this one is kind of like, it's like murder mystery fantasy novel, but with like generational trauma involved. Following Dana and Ivy. Dana is the mom, and back in the day when she was about Ivy's age, she got into some black magic bullshit, I'm assuming, and like, you know, paranormal gifts awakening. Probably there are consequences that haven't met them yet. Come to the present, Ivy's now, you know, a young adult, and all of those sins of the past seem to be coming back to haunt them. And it's also dealing with Ivy and like maybe her getting into the sign of the same mistakes the mother got into, and also, you know, magic and like probably bad guys, demon stuff, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm excited. It's generational drama from Melissa Albert already. I think it's gonna be dope. For real, like if you've read The Hazelwood, like think about her writing generational drama. Like already you're like, oh my gosh, this is like perfect. Okay, so that was like an ass ton of books, but like I pre-order a lot of books and I'm gonna pre-order more. I'm just telling you guys now, as soon as I find out more books are going to be available for pre-order, like they're gonna get pre-ordered. It's gonna happen. Let me know in the comments down below, are there any books that you have currently pre-ordered? And if so, which ones are you the most excited about? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!